We have been blessed with extraordinary guest speakers during this time, and we have one that has returned. She entered the Sisters of Marinol in 1950. Of course, she was 3 years old at the time. And for 36 years, she has been teaching in Catholic schools here in Hawaii. She was named among Hawaii's living treasures for her many years of education, community service, and advocacy. And I also don't know if there is a place on planet Earth that has not been blessed by her presence. What I do know is that she is here to bless us with her presence today. So would you please welcome back Sister Joan Chatfield.
I love the help I get on steps. It's marvelous. Some of you know that I had a stroke in my eye and I don't have depth perception. So it's a great thing to know that in order to know whether a step is deep or not, you have three things working. You have the actual step and you have one eye and two eye. Well, when one eye doesn't work too well, you only have two, so you're not too sure. So I thank you. I thank you. I've had very good help here. You know, sometimes when I begin to share a message at Unity, I feel like it's already been shared. Meaning that every time I've been here, and I've counted now, it's in all my histories going back too far, all the way back before John Strickland, these little intermittent times that I've come here has, I think it's amounted to, this is the 14th time. You know. And I'm just realizing that every time I have this same sensation that no matter what I give as the thing I'm going to talk about, and no matter what I prepare, and no matter what, it always comes out that something either in the music, or in the meditation, or in the prayers that you say so well each time, connects with what I have to say. So I kind of feel like I've already gotten the applause before the talk, which is nice. I also kind of feel like everything that's worth learning, everybody hear this now? Everything that's worth learning has to be repeated. Nobody gets anything on the first round. And if you can, excuse me, if you can be more patient with yourselves about that, it certainly worked when you were a little creature. You had to learn every word. You know, people come out of the womb without a vocabulary. And here we are, all with vocabularies. Where did we get it? Word by word by word, structure by structure by structure, example by example by example, and you keep learning things along the way. So, therefore, repetition is in itself a virtue. Now, of course, there's some people that only say the same thing, and that can get boring, so you don't want to go there. But the concept that what we need to learn when we come together in this worshiping community, what we need to learn might have been taught before, might even be taught then in the future, but the real issue is to learn it today. So this is what I'm going to talk about today. That the most important time for each of us is this particular moment. We have to live in the present, because if we double into what might happen in the future, my God, everything's going to be awful. You know, I mean, you get it in the press, you get it in the papers, you get it in the friends, you get it in the people around you who just think the world has already gone to hell in a handbasket. It used to be going there, but now it's got there. I mean, you know, come on. It's really bad news, and everything is awful, and everything, oh, come on, get off it. But that kind of pessimism that has kind of infiltrated, it's not unlike a poison gas, except you can't see it or smell it or taste it, but it's there. And therefore, the most important thing that we can do is to back away from that and to concentrate on what the present moment is and how that present moment becomes our next present moment becomes our next present moment. Now that sounds kind of boring, but it really isn't. It's actually a continuation of how God's love embraces each of us. And the wonderful part about it is that God's love embraces each of us specifically, personally. Exactly what you need is what you get. That is applause for God. Yeah. Because God really knows. And it's interesting, I said before, I ended up coming down with a absolutely royal cold, and people get it. I get one every 5 years, and I was due, actually a month early, but it's okay. But I got this bad cold, and I had already given out the title for this, and I had to really believe that when I was going to come here today and talk about the future, meaning living the present moment by moment, that it was going to come true. Because if this had been last Sunday, I wasn't really talking. I didn't have a voice that would have done anything with or without a microphone. And what does that mean? That means that today God wanted me not only to have a voice, but to have, I only kind of coughed a little bit in the last one. I haven't coughed yet today, much. What that means is that God took care of me not only having that restful time, which is all you can do with a cold anyway. Take a few pills and relax. It's going to go its course. I didn't try to fight it. I didn't like it as much as I might have liked running around, but no, it was okay. And I had some extra time to think and to meditate. And as I said to the other group, I was blessed by being able to nurture memories of a friend who had gone off to God the previous week, of a friend who is currently not well and probably will join her at the end of life. I now have somebody to see at Kaiser, somebody to see at One Kalakaua, somebody to see at Queens, and somebody to see at Straub. Now that means 4. How do I figure that out? I don't know, but sometime between now and the middle of the week, I will have seen them all. Why? Because there's something about not only living the present moment that we're alive, but understanding that those who move toward the last of their present moments are nourished and supported by people who care, pray with them, pray for them, pray about them, whatever language you want to use is not the important thing. The important thing is that there's nobody in this room or nobody listening in the future audiences wherever they are. That was quite a bit you said they're all over the world. Wherever anybody is living, nobody knows anybody who lives forever in this capacity. None of us do. None of us could name anybody who'd lived forever. I mean, some people go up to 100 plus, and we think that's pretty great. Or maybe we don't think it's so great. Maybe we think, thanks a lot, I'd like to check out earlier. But the real issue is that there isn't a single person among us as creatures of the human community that will not have this challenge. So I say, you live your present moment well, and then you get the next day. The next present moment you live well. You keep living, doing everything in the present moment. When the final moment comes, ain't no big thing, brah. It just is. It simply is that which happens to you, and that which happens to you because why? We are all creatures. There is only one creator. Even the people who have children and who think that they have created this child. When he's 2, he's a monster, but when he's a child and whatever. The idea is none of us really create the children. No. We are given that life of creation. And all of you, I'm sure, know the people for whom being able to conceive a child is something they have desired and wanted and wished for, and no matter what they do, and it seems as if no matter how much money they expend to the medical profession to help them along, and these marvelous doctors who do help, and it doesn't work, and then, okay. So they adopt a child, and isn't that lovely? They have brought to a solace and a caring in that present moment. They make that decision, and then guess what? They have 5 more of their own. Go figure. The percentages of that are phenomenal. And nobody knows what it is. Some people like to say, well, they've relaxed about the creation of a child. That isn't that at all. No, this is the way God says, let me have a point of entry into your life. And sometimes God even has a point of entry saying, you will not conceive and bear a child, but you will be able to give of your life to others. Because all of this boils down to those to whom a gift has been given, we are all required to share that gift. We can't say, this is my gift. It's all mine. Not going to share with anybody. It's all mine. No. That isn't the reason why we're alive. That's not even why we're on the planet. That's not the reason why we're in this church at this moment. We're here in order to be energized and helped and brought forward to be able to do what it is that God wants each of us to do. It's not one thing that we all have to do this or we all have to do that. No, the concept is we have to do what we have to do, what each of us individually has to do. And the marvelous part about living in Hawaii, we are certainly a place of immense diversity. When I go anywhere else as I travel in my work, no matter where I go, I keep thinking, oh, you guys don't know what diversity is. Come on, give me a break. They really don't know the mixtures that we have here. And, you know, when they train the chaplains in hospice work, here in Hawaii, if a person is in hospice care and they're standing around a bed of the person who is going off to their Creator, there most probably are 5 religious traditions that are represented. When I grew up in New Jersey, and then you'd visit people who were at the end of life, I swear to God, everybody around the room was all Catholic. Or they were all Protestant, or they were all Jewish, with maybe one other thrown in for good measure. We have our good measure pressed down and overflowing here, not only from the people who are in different religious communities, but people who are in what I call issue communities, and that becomes their religion in a totally legitimate way. I think those of you that know people who have been helped by, nourished by, and saved by connection with AA. AA has a wonderful, wonderful record of connectedness, of discipline, and at the end, when the person has grown into sobriety, what are they asked to do? Help somebody else who still has the problem of addiction. That's whether it's AA, NA, SA. How many letters can go before the A? The anonymous part is wonderful and it's appropriate, and people ought to be able to do that without a lot of publicity. But the real issue is that once sobriety has been accomplished, even with its, it backlashes a few times, but that's okay. On the whole, the movement of something like AA is built on the present moment. It isn't that I'll never drink again, or I'll never use drugs again, or I'll never smoke, whatever. No, it's I won't do it now. Hey, that's just like that. Present moment. And I won't do it, today's another day. Okay, I won't do it now. Oh, today's another day. Okay, I won't do it now. Notice that your expectation of being able to work through any kind of an adjustment of what we have with our situation, the adjustment comes with the use of the present moment and the, I would say, realization. It's realization, of course, but it's also the admission that we need to do it moment by moment. We can't do it in one fell swoop. Okay, I'll never swear again. I don't know what the hell. I mean, it doesn't work that way, right? I really try hard, but I taught adolescent boys too many years to not be able to swear quickly. However, I'll tell you, I know how that can be fixed because I know a man who had heart surgery, and after heart surgery, he never swore. I really think there must be a little thing in there that you could carve out because he used to use the F word a lot, and now he doesn't even know what it is. No, that's an aside. The real issue is the present moment and how important it is, and how we have to be willing to celebrate that we can come to a community, and also that we can share that with others, bring others to this community. If it's good for you, it might be good for a friend of yours. You stop and think of how you first came to Unity. Did you come, oh, well, I saw this in the telephone book, and it was on page 162, and it was at the end of the list of churches, so I went to it. Nah. Somebody said to you, or something in your life drew you, okay? And then, because whatever was happening here, you came again. Maybe not every week, but when you came, you came. And now you are going to have the privilege of having another minister serve you. So when Easter Sunday comes, he's coming out of the tomb and coming here, okay? So your first responsibility is to be good to him and his wife. Your second responsibility is to not try to make him into God. Just let him be who he is. I'm learning to say that because, unfortunately, we've had several little episodes in our multiple churches of the community of, like a board, having one or two members who kind of got on their shtick that this guy had to go or this woman had to go, or, come on. We have to take more responsibility of what? Being in the present to hear what we need to hear and to do that work. So I do feel that our gift of the present moment is not just a phrase, it's a command. Now, it's not a commandment like don't kill and all that kind of stuff. It's not a you must never do that. No, this is it's like having a union card to sanctity. If you can really get a hold of what it means to live in the present moment and not keep anguishing over the past and worried about the future, just live today. How do you know what's going to happen today? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. No. So therefore, we have to make a decision to do that. And when we make it and live it out, we become a better whatever we are. And we don't get so mad at ourselves for what we were. And we don't get so worried about ourselves of what we ought to be. No, we're just living in the present moment. And it seems as if that gift is what God intends for us to have. Look at this. We have this wonderful breakfast coming because, or I guess it's a lunch by now, of a person celebrating her birthday. Can't even be here today. Come on. We want to send her our best wishes, but we also want to thank her for that kind of thinking ahead. She really... And it makes me think of what I have to do in October when I get to be 85. I better have a big celebration because, I'm still trying to get used to it at 84 and saying, I got until October to work up to this. And it's wonderful. So that's the end, and I'll see you sometime, because if your new minister ever needs a holiday. Okay, thank you.